Thomas.
I'm glad to be able to speak in this debate and thank you for the opportunity to take part in it. As an MP for the furthest southwest part of the country, Penzance, quite often we speak in this place about things we don't have personal experience of, but actually when it comes to railways and Great Western Railway, I think I can claim that living so far away. And it is true, although I want to take quite a positive tone this morning, it is true that I have seen delays. There was a time when about 12 Conservative MPs took about 12 hours just to get from Devon to London, missed several votes. And it could have been dealt with better by Great Western Railway. This is some time ago, and we haven't seen a repeat of that for some time. It is true that quite often, far too often, there is not water in the wash basins, and I think that's an important thing in terms of basic hygiene, let alone anything else. And actually, experiences when there are delays for refunds has not been good enough. When I've spoken to Great Western Railway, my understanding is that they basically gave that job to a third company, didn't go so well, and I do understand that that has been improved. And it is very easy to complain. I mean, if we use trains a lot, there's always things that we can find reason to moan about, and the price, obviously, we want to get value for money. But the truth is that on our railway network, not just in the southwest but across the country, we've seen enormous growth in passenger numbers, certainly in Cornwall in the southwest. Since 2010, the number has grown far more than anyone ever expected. And there are all sorts of problems with the infrastructure right down to the southwest. If you look at the figures provided by the library, the truth and the fact is that there are only 79 complaints for every 100,000 journeys. Now, if I represent about 100,000 people, all told across my constituency. If I just received 79 complaints, I'd be quite glad of that. So the reality is, when we look at the concerns that we've heard today, and then look at actually 79 complaints in every 100,000, I would imagine there are lots of other industries and sectors that would see a higher rate of complaints than that. There are many comments made about the price, and that's a fair point, that if you really are paying the maximum right down to Cornwall, you spend a huge amount of money. The reality is that on Monday, when I came up, my advance single was just £19, which will please those that look closely at my election expenses. But as I said, I want to take a more positive tone. This may change because later on this month, my colleague from Plymouth will know this, but from the 17th of February, there is going to be major disruption on the network because of Network Rail are doing some improvements on the tunnels. I'm not yet sure how I'm going to get here. Maybe that's a good reason to apply for a slip. But I want to talk briefly about what my constituents see right down in Penzance when they are right at the end of the line. We've seen 36 of these brand new intercity express trains. That is over and above what the government ordered, and actually many of these are specifically to service the route in Devon and Cornwall. As I said, it's over and above what the government ordered. And I don't recognise many of the points and the concerns that have been said today about these trains. I don't hear that at all. I'm not hearing from constituents, even from my own experience, the complaints about the new trains that have been expressed today. And Great Western Railway, far from selling all their old rolling stock, they've actually retained 11 of them purely to serve the Cornish economy. And they're beginning a half-hourly service. So anywhere in Cornwall in the near future, you'll be able to go to a platform and get a train within half an hour. Well, that is a significant improvement, and improvement to connectivity for those that live in a very rural southwest part of this country. Great Western Railway have worked with the council and others to invest over £22 million in a train care centre in Penzance. It's a massive piece of infrastructure. Often, Cornwall is a poorer cousin when it comes to big schemes like this, and so we're delighted to have these new skilled jobs, apprenticeship opportunities, and huge investment right in the heart of Penzance. And they've completely refurbished the sleeper carriages. If anyone uses a sleeper, they'll see a dramatic improvement from carriages that had served for many, many decades now to plush. I'm not sure if they're 4 or 5 star, but they're certainly very comfortable. And I would recommend to the Minister and any others who want to come right down to Penzance. People are reluctant to do so, but the sleeper service provides an excellent service. Great Western Railway are expanding, in order to allow this half-hourly service, they're expanding the depot at Exeter and elsewhere, the station Exeter and elsewhere. And I think there are real positive things to be said about what's happening on our rail network right down to Penzance. As we said, the improvements to station facilities. In St Earth, if you were to drive down to Penzance today, you would enter into a whole load of roadworks. I don't want to discourage you from going on holiday, take the train. But if you were to drive, you'll end up a whole load of roadworks in St Earth, which is the last major junction before you get to Penzance. And these roadworks are simply because of huge investment in the station there to be a real boost for our economy, a boost for tourism, so that you'll be able to get to the train station there and park your car there and get onto the railway network into all sorts of corners of Penzance, St Ives and elsewhere on the network. This is a real boost for tourism and a real opportunity to provide much-needed improvements to the infrastructure around there. In fact, last year saw more investment in infrastructure than in any year since Brunel built the railway, and so it's no surprise that there will be some concerns and some disruption to our journey. But I'm confident that we will see better performance, better trains, better capacity and a better timetable. One thing I would like to make a particular point of for the Minister while he's here, we're getting to the 5-year anniversary of the time when the railway washed into the sea at Dawlish. This was images that are permanently fixed in our minds, those of us that lived down there that were cut off for several weeks, those that around the world that saw the intense damage to that section of the railway. There is no way that Great Western Railway can be held responsible for the delays in getting a solution for that. The solution has not yet been absolutely confirmed, and I would really like this opportunity to say to the Minister that we must make progress. We will not be forgiven if we see another catastrophe like that without any progress in improving that part of the infrastructure. What we're seeing is major transformation, increased demand, and we should expect teething and growing pains. Mr Betts, I wonder if you could give me some advice. When our children grow, when they go through teething, which can be a very stressful process for them and parents, when they grow to develop into puberty, which again can be a very stressful and difficult process, is your suggestion that we hand our children over to the state, or that we actually continue to work with them and enable them to grow and flourish and then be the contribution to the society that we want them to be? Because as Great Western grow and develop and the network improves, and we go through these growing pains, these teething pains, can I suggest that we stick with this commitment to improve infrastructure, commit to support our industry and get the services that we deserve in the far southwest?